Welcome back, everybody, to the Nerdcore podcast, the podcast reviews of movies and talks that nerd shit. This is episode 691, and it is the first review of Ingmar Bergman Month 3 as we look at The Devil's Eye. As always, as nerds, you're going to hear the host show alongside our wonderful co host, Brad Young Yoda.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to wonderful Tuesday evening. Yes, it's Tuesday, and that's my fault.
We'll explain all of that why. And of course, it would not be Ingmar Bergman Month without having the person that was on not just the second, but the first one as well, Mr. Ayden Byrnes.
Thanks for having me, guys. Good to be back again. Many moons later. Apartments later.
Yes, sir.
Only time we ever review Ingmar Bergman.
Yeah. Well, I would think, like, I was like, hey man, why don't we just, like, we try to do his whole filmography and we'll just have fucking Ayden on every single time.
I totally get it. I'm just saying it's the only time we review Ingmar Bergman
is when we have Ayden. Yeah. Exactly. Because he's that special, bro.
Yeah. Let's hope so.
Ayden's been so long, bro.
It has. I feel like I've grown as a human being.
Yeah, you got a girlfriend. You have a new spot.
Yeah, dude. Like, it's whole lifestyle change.
Life happens.
Yeah, dude.
Last time Ayden was on this show, he was in a different spot. He had no girlfriend, and his room was like the size of a bathroom, right?
Yeah, it wasn't the biggest. Yeah. Okay, you don't gotta. Your apartment was dog shit before.
No, it wasn't dog.
It was dog shit. It was very small though.
Yeah.
Like when I told
bad when you can see the bed and then like see your shower over there in the same.
Yeah, I showered in my.
Yeah, and I told Ayden, I was like, "Hey man, what's it called? I might be going to NYFF. You think I could crash?" He goes, "Yeah, man, but my couch is literally like a hallway." It's like, I didn't
even have it was like literally like a fucking bench for like next to my bed. So like my bed was like half of my couch, basically.
I'm just imagining you shoving roll up in a closet.
Yeah.
Just go in there.
I got a big closet. I got like a walk-in closet now.
Hell yeah,
bro.
Moving up in the world.
But how you been, bro?
Bedroom. Pretty good, man. You guys doing pretty good? As far as surviving hurricanes?
I'm surviving a hurricane. I'm doing good, man. Thankfully, everything went well here. We didn't lose power. We're okay. Nothing's wrong here. Brad, how are you?
I'm exhausted. So, I didn't get home last night until 11:30.
Which is 1 for me, 1:30 for me, 2:30 for Ayden.
Yeah, but I was over. I was over at my parents at 5.
Yeah.
And the reason we didn't do it yesterday is we had to put one of my parents' horses down, and so the horse was put down at 6:15 my time, but we couldn't get anyone to bury the horse until 9:35. But luckily, we have someone. And unfortunately, it was his son's birthday was that day. And my mom was like, could you please come out? Because you usually don't want to leave a dead horse out on the ground in Arizona.
Yeah.
Because things eat it.
Yeah. Burying a horse is hard. I had to help bury a horse. It's a difficult.
I mean, it's a whole... This is the second one in a year. So this one, though, I think we did all right because we knew it was coming. The last one was kind of, we didn't know that was coming. But this horse was 45 years old. So
yeah, you kind of have
time. Yeah, it was time. Like during the week, we were like, yeah, he's having trouble breathing. Like, it's time.
God damn. Yeah, Brad, I'm not laughing at the fact that the horse died. That's very sad. I'm really sorry that happened. But I'm laughing at the fact, like, just all of the shit that should have happened, shouldn't have happened for Brad.
Oh yeah.
And like, because so the way we had it scheduled this week, Monday we do this, Tuesday we do the Bear, season 3. Wednesday we do the night of for Patreon. Thursday we're supposed to be doing Time Me Up, Time Me Down, which is not happening anymore.
No. We can still do that because at work today at 2:00, I was like, I'm out. And I went home and watched Time Me Up, Time Me Down.
Okay. So Thursday we can still do Time Me Up, Time Me Down. So, and then of course Friday, Saturday, and Sunday was going to be the normal, Acolyte Boys, House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
But we had to move this to today because of what happened. And Brad was I was like, Brad, it's just so much going on, Brad. Like your dad comes back on Thursday, you will be relieved of all these duties.
Well, he comes back Friday. So comes back Friday.
Yeah. Ayden, I hope you're not having to put down horses, bro.
I know. My lizard's getting a little up there, but that's a little easier than
Bro, that's
bearing
way
a horse.
easier.
Yeah.
Bro, if you wanted to cremate it, you could just cremate it there in your home.
I probably could. Yeah.
Man, horses is a whole thing.
Yeah.
That you have to plan.
And if the ground is dry, you're not really getting in there too.
Well, our worry last year, our worry was we were right in the middle of monsoon, and to get the backhoe up, because you need a backhoe to dig the hole, and pick up the horse and put the horse in the hole.
Yeah.
We were afraid, like we were watching the sky, like it's gonna fucking rain. We know it's gonna fucking rain.
Yeah.
Then that backhoe would not be able to make it.
Yeah.
Luckily, that didn't happen. So.
Yeah.
I heard it in Wyoming once, and we literally couldn't even dig a hole deep enough, so we kind of just ended up making a little mound, got half a hole and then just a little hill. Yeah, that worked.
Now, Brad, when you say put it down, you mean the old Yeller way, right?
No. So I mean, it used to be the old Yeller way when and some ranchers still do that, but no, my mom contacted a vet, and they put the horse to sleep.
I'm gonna think that the old Yeller way would have saved you a couple times.
I mean, I'm not shooting my mom's horse.
Yeah.
it's bad enough she's putting it down. I'm not gonna be the trigger man.
Yeah. Well, I think we should just get into this now. We've had enough talk about horses now. But of course, this episode is live, early, and ad-free for our wonderful patrons over at patreon.com/nerdcore, where you can get this episode at the $1 tier. And of course, the episodes that usually go on Thursdays. Now this one will be dropping on Wednesday at 12 p.m. Central Time, so you get it early, ad-free, and live, so you can interact with us. We have somebody viewing right now, so thank you so much for our patron who is watching with us. It's probably Stacy, but yeah. So without further ado, man, let's go ahead and start Ingmar Bergman Month 3. Brad, I'm gonna make the call this month. If it doesn't have any more than at least 5 sentences, just read from Criterion and read the credits.
Yeah, I already got Criterion up.
Yeah, there you go, Stacy. Just need a gravel pit like Christy Noam for dogs, goats, horses, and unwanted neighbors.
What's bad with Christy Noam is nothing was even wrong with the animals; it just annoyed her, which makes it even worse.
Yep. And thankfully, Brad, because this movie did come out in 1960, we can just go ahead and go right into it. So, Brad, let's go ahead and introduce him to The Devil's Eye. Today's episode of the Nerdcore is brought to you by SeatGeek. Whether you want to see your favorite band, sports team, or comedian, SeatGeek has you covered. We're proud to be partnering with SeatGeek to offer you $10 off your first order with code TheNerdcore. That's $10 off your first order at SeatGeek.com with code THENERDCORPS. So take a seat at your next live event with SeatGeek. Thank you. Now let's get back to today's video.
All right, I'm going to read the one sentence from Wikipedia first, and then I'll go into the Criterion. The Devil's Eye is a 1960 Swedish fantasy comedy film written and directed by Ingmar Bergman. That's the sentence. That's all of it.
Spoilers, dog.
Yeah. Then I go Criterion. Ingmar Bergman's 1960 fantasy comedy follows a reincarnated Don Juan on his assignment from the devil to seduce a country parson's young daughter, tarnishing her purity and shattering her faith and love, but his evil aims are muddled as the charming girl causes him to question his own beliefs. And then going back, so directed and written by Ingmar Bergman, starring Jarkul, Bibi Andersson, Niels Papi, Gertrude Fried, Sture Lagerwall.
Ayden's the one who knows Swedish a little more.
Lagerwall. Probably it's closer.
Stig Jarl.
Jarl.
Jarl. Yeah. Gunnar Bornstrand. Bjornstrand.
Yeah, Bjornstrand. That's our boy. He's in a lot of.
Yeah,
Gunnar. A lot of Bergman stuff.
Cinematography is another Gunnar Fischer. Edited by Oscar Rosender. Music by Eric Nordgren. And running time 87 minutes. And I don't have a box office, which I don't think that's...
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's every Bergman. Doesn't have a box office on it.
Well, they didn't end up coming to the U.S. very, very late. Like, years later.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
You gonna read that Criterion?
I read
introduction?
it. I read it.
Oh shit! What the hell?
Yeah.
All right.
That was it. That was it. The first sentence I read was Wikipedia, and then I read the Criterion introduction.
Yeah.
That was
okay. All right. With that, all right, man. So Brad was the first one who won the what's it called? Was not the first one. Sorry, he was the one who won this. This what's it called? Coin toss. So, Brad, we're gonna go ahead and go with the guest first because the guest
course.
always goes first during the guest month. So,
Indeed.
Ayden, what are your initial thoughts on The Devil's Eye?
This one was not one of my favorites, for like personally, and also apparently not one of Bergman's favorites of his, I guess. But like they made 2 in the same year, and he's like, "Fuck this one, I'm gonna just agree to do this to do another one," basically. It's kind of funny. Yeah, I thought it was a little. I don't know, too much. It was like too much in one setting, and then I didn't really care about. I was like, I don't really give a shit if this guy's trying to seduce this daughter. Like, I don't need to watch this, I guess. It was shot okay. It was also like Gunnar Fisher's last one before Sven Nykvist took over, actually. So maybe.
Wow.
And I guess also, yeah, it wasn't shot amazing. I guess maybe like he did one with Sven Nykvist the same year, and then he's like, oh shit, maybe.
Yeah, sure. It's been
The daughter is cheating on the husband, and he's cheating on his cinematographer at the same time.
Yeah,
So this movie is actually about Satan sending a new cinematographer to seduce Bergman. So.
Maybe this guy needs to lose a job.
Yeah, so like the year that he's working on, the year that this releases, he's also working on Through a Glass Darkly. Wow.
I think it was the Virgin Spring they were doing like simultaneously, and then Through a Glass Darkly is right after that, I believe.
Yeah,
Bergman's kind of known for that, just working on multiple films at the same time.
Yeah, it was like it seemed like he had an agreement with like the Swedish film industry, Svenska film industry. They had this like Danish script, which was this, and he didn't want to do it, and then he wanted to make the Virgin Spring, but they couldn't do that, so like he kind of had to like make a deal with the Svenska film industry to be able to do that. So that's kind of like
do this, and I mean,
yeah, so like,
actors do that before.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
they'll do a Sony superhero film and then go do indie films for like 5 years.
Pretty much, yeah. Which, by the way, for somebody who has seen, the Virgin Spring, this one's way. I mean, not this. I'm sorry. The Virgin Spring is way better. Like, dude, this guy released 3 movies in 1960, bro. He does
what was the third one?
Over There, The Virgin Spring, and The Devil's Eye.
Over There?
Yeah. Over There, or
Over
whatever
there.
that's called.
Over
Yeah,
there?
yeah.
It's over
But
there.
that one's not written by Bergman. That's written by August Strindberg. Yeah.
And this kind of wasn't like it says he's a writer, like he has a writer credit, but it was already an existing script from Denmark. So
yeah, Brad, what's your initial thoughts?
I feel like I'm going to be the odd man out here.
Brad's gonna be like, this is my favorite Bergman.
Because I kind of enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed this movie basically because it reminded me kind of old Hollywood minimalism. Like there's not much to it. It's a few characters on the screen, some sets, and it was kind of nice for someone who's been just my ADHD riddled brain to just have nothing really focused on the screen. Or nothing like no fucking Michael Bay shit going on. It's very simplistic, very simple story, very simple storytelling. I think the acting was, pretty good. I mean, I agree with Ayden. I mean, do we really need a Don Juan story and the devil's trying to, take a woman's virginity? Not really. I mean, it was the 60s. This was probably viewed as pretty out there in the 60s, but I enjoyed just the minimalism of it, and because it was kind of like mixture of play and then mixture of a movie. But my favorite part was in the beginning when they introduce the devil's assistants or his people, and they're all French, and that was just hilarious to me.
The French are the ones who are the assistants to the devil.
They're running hell. The French are running hell.
Yeah, the ones who are like the most like the country that's probably like second most atheist in the Soviet Union are the ones who or the devils. Assistants. But Brad, I have to say I'm kind of in the middle here. this is obviously not my favorite.
I wouldn't say it's
Bergman.
my favorite, no, but I'm not saying I hated it.
And to be fair, the movies that it's above, one of them I need to revisit. I don't know why I gave Summer with Monica 3 stars, but I don't think that's how I felt initially about it. Because I think
You
I
have to
actually
go back and look at it. Summer with Monica was pretty good.
no, I love Summer
That
with
was
Monica.
that was
Yeah.
like one of the top tier.
Yeah.
You had weird ratings though back in the day
Yeah.
too for some of them.
But the one
Like I
can
really
tell
liked
you
it.
for
Here's
sure.
3 stars.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Touch of Evil, I gave 3 stars, and I was like, wait, why the fuck did I give that 3 stars? That's a really fucking good movie.
Oh shit! I would give Touch of Evil 1 fucking star. I hate that
Yeah,
movie.
well,
Oh,
forget that.
gonna
We
say.
hot
forget,
take. Hot
yeah.
take.
we forget that hot take Ayden is back. You know, Ayden's, yeah.
I enjoy
Ayden
it.
Byrnes is like, yeah. What's it called? He delivers hot takes all the time.
Bro, we've been
Um,
agreeing too much. We kind of needed to throw someone in the middle there to
Yeah,
get
you
us
need a
back
little
to
spice here.
disagreeing.
Yeah. Yeah, but I know for sure that I prefer this over Winterlight. I don't like Winterlight, and that's crazy from Bergman. That I can say that there's a Bergman that I don't like, because I think that even with the movies just like this one, that I can say that I'm not as compelled and I'm not as, you know, I don't really like to connect with that much, that I can still say that there's something to it that I really appreciated. With this one, I was like, I kind of like this story, like, because to me it's so much of a Bergman, dude. It's like this guy who is trying to find redemption through the women that he's meeting and he's trying to seduce, and yet every single time he's failing.
I mean,
And what does he do at the end? He ends up in fucking hell.
I mean, and it's that old school good versus evil. You know, we've heard the story a million times, done a million different ways.
Yeah.
I just like it was just kind of simple. And
Yeah.
you know, I'm not used to seeing simple anymore in movies.
Yeah. But like, I look at like Ayden is telling me here. I look at the 3 that came out, and out of the 3, I've seen 2. The Virgin Spring blows this completely out of the water. The Virgin Spring is way better than this movie. I believe he even wins a Palme d'Or for this one, for the Virgin Spring.
I think so. Yeah.
And it's crazy because like you look at this movie and you would think that this is the type of movie that would garner more controversy. But the Virgin Spring was the one that was the most controversial, and it was because of the rape scene. But yeah. But I like this movie, man. I think the acting's pretty damn good too. But once again, like Brad says, it's very theater like, and which is something that I don't expect from early Bergman. I expected a lot from like going into like the later part of his career, where like Autumn Sonata felt very much like a play. But this one to me was like, oh man, this is very theater like. This is very much shot like a theater, like a play. And I agree with Ayden. It's not shot like interestingly for me. Like I'm
Not
not
really.
like I'm not gravitating toward these shots. And Sven didn't do the Virgin Spring, right?
He did that one. That's because
He
they were
did.
doing 2 at the same time, so he couldn't really have like Gunnar.
Yeah,
So he had Sven. That was Sven's first one, and then Sven works for him from that point on.
yeah. Which
kind
I
of
think-
Yeah, you would have Palme d'Or. And
yeah, you win a Palme d'Or.
you win a Palme d'Or, you're hired for life.
Yeah.
You don't win it with Gunner. But I have to say, man, it was a great. I really like the movie. I won't say it's great. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was a nominee for the Palme d'Or. It won the best foreign language film that year. What's it called? And it's like in '61 for the Academy Award. But I thought it was fine. I thought it was a good movie. I didn't think it was anything like too special. I look at everything above this. I cannot put any of these movies below The Devil's Eye. Like Summer Interlude, which apparently we did watch, and I double checked. I actually searched it up on our page. We actually did watch the
We did watch
Summer
that
Interlude.
I remember that title.
Like,
I remember that.
totally
Ayden
could've
was there
watched
for
it
it. I listened to
Yeah.
the episode. You were there, Ayden. I do not remember.
I'll have to go listen to it
watching-
again, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I forgot
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I
But,
just
like,
like for me, like, or you go ahead, man.
No, you go ahead, Ayden.
I was just thinking, like, we got like Brad was saying, it's very like simplistic set and everything. And for me, like this one felt more like it's just a stage set when we've already kind of had gotten like a similar thing with The Magician like 2 years before, where it
Mhm.
was all
Yeah.
kind of like a lot in a house. But I
Yeah.
felt like that one was structured better, and like just like how they had the house like just looked nicer in The Magician. So I'm like, we already kind of did something simple 2 years ago, and I like that one better. Like you don't have to do it
Okay.
again necessarily. But also like they're different stories, and obviously like this is like a farmhouse because it's like in the countryside. So it's
No,
not
you're trying to
gonna
get
look
the
nice.
farmer's daughter. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it makes sense. I just like I feel like of the two, I'd rather watch The Magician again. I think.
I did question like the woman he's going. It's like I kiss everyone. It's like what the fuck.
Well, you've been in hell for forever.
And I love how what's it called? The Vicar. He just locks the guy in
devil up in the cabinet.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
one of my favorite parts.
I liked how he checked on him. He's like, "How are you doing?" He's like, "You got pretty good gin, you know." I mean, and then I'm just thinking to myself, man, I could be that devil.
Yeah.
Just lock me up with gin.
Yeah. But yeah, I love how he was in there. Like, what's it called? Yeah, it's like, what's it called? You got some good gin in here. I'm like, okay. I was like, he really was like, who cares if my wife is cheating? Like,
I kind of like the whole dialogue in that aspect, the whole around the Vicar and his wife. I
Yeah.
like that, even though that wasn't what it's supposed to be done. Once seducing, but to me, the Vicar and his wife, that was the more compelling story in this.
Yeah.
I did like that story in that, you know, the Vicar, he saw his wife as someone, I guess, who couldn't love or couldn't, you know, show love, and then she shows this 300-year-old devil, you know,
Some love.
some love, yeah.
some compassion. And that's what he said. He said compassion. You don't have compassion, and she does that. And I mean, where they go from there, they don't know. But you know, she sounds like she's in a better place. But again, he has to get over the fact that she just got dicked down by a 300-year-old like Spaniard.
Yeah. And I was
Sometimes
saying,
It happens.
I was also I was thinking, like, you know, you're saying that this was a script that was already done in Denmark, so I don't know exactly, you know, how much of this is Bergman, but like I said, I love the way that he directs this dialogue, and I think that that's the blocking and the dialogue to me is what I like the most of this movie, because it's always something that, you know, stands out to me with Bergman's work. He always has a really like sharp dialogue, and the blocking is always like pretty good, even though the shots aren't great. You know, the blocking is at least pretty damn good.
The shots really aren't that great. They're just mediocre at best.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to see like the original script and seeing like I'm sure he molded it so much for like how he had his actors do it. So
yeah,
I did like the breaks in between the acts though, when you had the guy
talking
in his
to
office, like and our narrator, and I'm like, oh, he's talking about Bergman.
I thought that was really interesting, like how he just like pauses, like, okay, now we're going into the third act. And he goes, I was like, okay, that's really
I was like, awesome,
different.
great. I mean,
that's pretty old school.
Not only a 300-year-old Spaniard, but a Spaniard played by Sean Connery. Yeah, Swedish Sean Connery, right?
Fucking trouble.
Yeah, but yeah, man, I gotta say, let's go. I still enjoyed it. I just can't say it's like my favorite. And I don't think I would say it's great. I think it's just good, and I enjoyed it for what it was. And it sucks that like the last one that Gunnar does like isn't the best looking one, because like he's done like some that are actually pretty damn like visually pleasing.
Yeah, like he did the Seventh Seal and killed it, like incredible shit. And then he just ends up doing like I think kind of two in a row, like The Magician and then this one that are all kind of just like a little bit more boring interiors. And then he gets a Palme d'Or with fucking The Virgin Spring with Sven, and he's like, oh shit. Yeah. Sorry, Gunnar, I don't know you.
Do you think that's just because Bergman just didn't give a shit about this film?
I think it's probably
that. Oh, I feel like that came across.
Yeah, Bergman was just like, man, just put it on tape, whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, well, one of these three needs to make money so I can finance Through a Glass Darkly, which is obviously going to be like his biggest film at that time. So it's like, it was like pretty much like, I'm just trying to make sure that I have the money available, you know. And he was like, Wild Strawberry, Seventh Seal, like Gunnar does a damn good like composition, and he has good lighting, but like I guess he just saw this one as like, well, like we got to make something here so we can have some money for the next one. And like he was like, I don't really care if you turn in that bad of a look. Ayden, in his book, does it even say anything about this one?
That's pretty much all it says, is like he didn't want to do this. Like he doesn't have a chapter on it. Like there's like a paragraph somewhere else, like in the book, not even related to it. He's like, I didn't want to do this, but like I wanted to make The Virgin Spring, so I kind of had to just like make a deal with the
Yep.
I just love Price's sentence: "The devil's eye, money signs by it."
I feel like it was probably one of those instances, like you said, I'm sorry, not Rabies, Ayden, where it's like, what's it called? If you do this one, you can make The Virgin Spring.
Yeah, that's literally, I think, the only reason to do it.
Yeah. Which I wonder what this one, The Storm, is like, because like what the hell did you do there too? Like, but yeah, Brad. I'm sorry, Ayden. What's your final verdict on it, man? Out of 10. Remember, we do out of 10, and we allow 0.25, 0.5s, and 0.75s.
Oh, did you make that rule for me for doing like 0.62 whatever?
I know you don't care. You always break the rules, but I'll
We'll
just
just round
you
up
on
with
it.
you. It doesn't
We
matter.
can just round it up.
I'm gonna just give it like a 6.25 or something. I feel like it's all right. Like it was worth the watch, but I don't think I'd ever go back and watch it again.
Yeah, Brad.
I'm gonna give it a little higher. I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
Brad, I'm right there with you, bro. I'm at a 7.5, which is crazy because I don't think I am high as you are. But yeah, but
That's
Brad-
just how I mean. That's just like you said. When you look at the cinematography of it, it's not there.
yeah.
I mean, but I like the film, and it's something different in that it's very simple. Like it's what is on the screen is very simplified, very minimalistic, and I kind of enjoyed that. But I'm kind of Ayden kind of caught my ear when he said the Magician is kind of the same, but that's better, and that is better, and I think I gave that a much higher score.
Like the Magician, Sawdust and Tinsel, and like like all of those, I think just have a better looking frame and a better looking, story too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got like 77.5, man. So with that said, that concludes our review of The Devil's Eye. And of course, we thank you all so much for joining us. Of course, you can keep up to date with us on nerdcore.com, Twitter at the Nerdcore _, Instagram at the Nerdcore, Letterboxd at the Nerdcore, TikTok at the Nerdcore, Patreon.com/Nerdcore. Once again, so you can get this episode live and early and ad free. $1 a month gets you there, along with our episodes on Thursdays. Please make sure you check out our Discord link. It is in the description below. And if you're wondering, yes, the sexy man down there is in the Discord. You can talk to him in there if you ever want to talk. But he'll probably not respond, right? Beef Jesus doesn't respond that much.
I don't ever use Discord, dude. Like,
Unless
I don't even know if it's on my computer. Maybe it's on my phone.
Yeah, Brad, I keep Ayden in business, man. Like, so I'd be buying shit off of him, bro. Like,
yeah, dude.
that's actually me purchasing that what's it called the Texas Leica is the reason he's in that apartment, bro.
There you go.
That's it.
100%.
That's
and
it.
then I ended
the
up
whole
buying
thing.
another one like
Yeah.
shortly after that.
You missed it too much, bro.
Yeah, and I got the 2, which I really like, but
Yeah, I mean, hey, as you
I
can
had to let
tell
it
by
go
the
to
photos I
realize.
posted, man, it went to good use.
it did. Yeah. I'm
Did
glad.
you use that for the wedding photos?
Yes.
And you use like the
very good.
SRT 201 or 201?
Yeah, the 201.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Glad those
Turned
are
out
getting
great.
some use.
I like those.
They're
photos.
not just sitting on the shelf, dog.
Some of mine aren't.
Um,
Like the one literally right. But that one's broken. I put it to so much use that I broke it. So now it's on the shelf.
yeah.
Retired.
But of course,
Just retired.
what's it called? Thank you guys so much. Of course, we want to thank our patrons because without them, it's not possible. Thank you guys so much for making this possible. And of course, we want to thank our producer, Shane. Where can they find him, Brad?
You can follow our friend Shane at twitch.tv/XSRK or on Twitter at thriftedil or go buy something from the Subby God at PrisonCityVintage.com.
You'll be here for many more Mondays, but I do want them to know where they can find you, Ayden. Where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter or X. It's Twitter. Fuck it. A Burns 152 BYRNES or Instagram Ayden.Burns.
Only Elon calls it
Or
X.
AydenBurns.com.
AydenBurns.com.
Arby's.nyc. They'll all make it.
Arby's.nyc. That's crazy.
He's got the
I have that domain.
Yeah. You don't have did you take off your gear part? Like what gear you own?
Yeah, I don't think it's on my current website.
Damn, bro.
It just got too annoying because it was changing so much. I was like, I don't want to keep making it.
I was like, I'm not gonna update this shit. Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
And people don't really ask that much. Like it was kind of like useful if you're like doing more freelance stuff and you have to like be like, I use like this equipment, so they just like know what they're getting. But like I don't like need to do that.
But at this point, you're not doing that anymore. You're just pretty much stuck with a company,
Yeah,
right?
or like I'll just kind of email people and be like, it's if they ask, I'm like, this I don't need to.
Yeah. Before we get out of here, any notable people you've had the chance to shoot with?
The
The last one you told me about was M. Night that said they loved my name.
Yeah. We did the Oppenheimer one that was cool. It was like real dead during the strike.
Yeah.
We just did one actually recently that was cool. I don't remember what it. Oh, like Despicable Me. So it was like Will Ferrell, Steve Carell. That was kind of fun actually. Except for like the infrastructure of the place we were working at was horrid, but like the actual people were fun.
I don't know if it'll ever be as cool as being in Jessica Chastain's house, right?
That was interesting, yeah. Or like Emily Blunt and John Krasinski's like not house, but kind of house. It's like their
Yeah.
office house.
It's crazy.
Weird.
Okay.
Yeah. But with that said, we thank you all so much for joining us. We'll be back for another episode. Me and Brad will be back for Thursday on Patreon for Time You Up, Time You Down. I initially picked it because I wanted to celebrate Pride Month in June, but we actually unknowingly celebrated Pride Month by discussing Goodbye Dragon Inn, which was,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
that kind
So-
of worked out.
Yeah, it ended up working out, but I still wanted us to discuss some Pedro Almodovar in there. So we'll have some of that on Thursday for you guys. And Brad, I'm actually gonna say let's do the Bear that day too, because it's getting a little late here. So
Okay, I'm
yeah.
okay with that.
yeah. But with that said, we're getting out of here. Brad, let's go ahead and send him out of here.
All right, Roll. Thank you for being host as always. Thank you to Ayden for joining us today. It's been a while. Glad to have you back. It's always a good time. Thank you to Stacy for joining us in chat. Thank you to our listeners and our Patreon supporters. We appreciate each and every one of you. And to end this episode, again, never pick up strange people and cats on the side of the road. Young Yoda out.
But what if it's a cute little